Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to explain how the web to lead form works in Salesforce. This is a feature, the native feature of Salesforce we are using for registering new leads outside of Salesforce. It's a simple tool and it can be directly accessible from setup. Let me show you. This is under the marketing feature, and you will face with this screen. And in my current org, it's already enabled, but if it's not enabled, you can simply enable this checkbox if it is unchecked, and then you will be able to create new lead form. So to be able to create a form, just simply use this button, create web to lead form, and we are gonna get some of the fields, available fields from the lead, and we will be selecting some of them to be able to show them, expose them on the website. And then once the lead, the potential customer, enters these values, it's gonna automatically submit in our database in Salesforce. So before we begin, I just would like to simply explain what we are going to do. What I'm going to do is, first, we will create a web to lead form. This is a kind of form, we can say. This is name, first name, last name, email, phone, and let's say company name. And this is the submit button. And we will pull all the data from this form. Let's say first name, company name. This is a submit button. We are embedding this into any web form, and once the values are populated and click submit, we are going to register the information into the system. In Salesforce, we have lead object, and we are storing this information in the lead object, but I would like to convert it into a customer object. But it's not a standard customer. I would like to create a custom object, and with the same information, this is gonna be a customer, like this, and this is gonna be lead object, the standard native lead object, and we convert it via trigger. Conversion from trigger. We are using trigger to convert it into a custom object. Yes, this is what we are going to do. First things first, I'd like to create this customer object because I don't have in the system right now. So let's go back to Salesforce. And let's say customer customers. Customer name is okay, actually. Yes, this is okay. Let's give a tab. I just would like to add it to sales app. Yes, here. Let's create the necessary fields. The name is already here, and it's going to be required. Now let's create first name. This is going to be text. Let's make it as required. Last name. Again, it's required. Email address. Phone number. And the last one is company name. And that's all. We are having all the fields now. Yes, let's see the page layout, how our fields are structured on the layout. Yes, it looks something like this, but we can arrange them. First name, last name. Maybe we can put the email here, phone number, and company name. Now let's see. We are on the sales app. Customers are over here. Yes. Once we try to create a new one, our new structure, our new layout is implemented like this, and required fields and the optional fields. And now we can create our web to lead form to be able to create the customer record outside of Salesforce, just using lead object. So our web to lead form is already here. What we need is first name, last name, email, phone, and company. That's all. So first name, last name, email, company. We can remove these, and let me select phone, email, phone, company. And we can just simply return a URL. It could be, for example, a thank you page, just to, after saving the form, the lead will be able to see the thank you page. We can add a thank you page using, let's see, something like this one. Now we can just copy this and put it over here. We can enable reCAPTCHA, but it's optional. We can deselect this and let's generate. And system does this for us. System generate this for us, and we can simply copy everything and put it into our HTML based file. So let me copy all of them, and let's go to VS Code and let's create a new file. I put it everything here, and yes, here actually we can create it on our own. We don't need any web to lead form, but it actually enables us to create faster than us, because we don't want to write everything line by line. So everything is ready for us, and it's a plain HTML. There is no CSS, there's no stylish look for the web page. But the important thing here, our form, the action part is this part. This is the endpoint of Salesforce. To be able to register our lead data outside of Salesforce, we need to hit this endpoint. And the method should be post, because we are creating a new lead object. And another important thing is the org ID. This OID means org ID, and this org ID should be available in our system. This is my currently used org. And we can simply check it from here. This is the org ID. And also we can find it out using SQL query. Let me quickly show you how you can do this. If you are not using Salesforce Inspector, you can simply write something like this. Here, select ID from organization. Yes, it gives us the org ID. Yeah. So now we are going to paste. We have paste this code, and now we need to save this. Let me select documents. Under documents, I will save this. Yes. Now it's done for now. Now let's open our documents. Your recent documents here. Yes, this HTML. And form looks something like this. As I said, there's no CSS applied. That's why it looks something like this. Let's put some values over here. Let's say Max. Last name, let's say Doe. Some random numbers and company, let's say. So once I hit the submit button, first let's go to lead object. And let's select today's lead. There's no today's lead available in the system. But once I submit the form, and yes, it redirects us to the thank you page. And then we can close this page. And let's see today's leads. Yes, it's registered. And it's registered with the supplied fields. So we can see the details. For example, website is empty because we didn't put the website for the form. And there's no title, there's no lead source, things like that. And now what we need is, once the lead form creates the lead object, lead record in the system, then we will trigger the system and we are going to create the customer record in the system. Because currently there is no customer record in the system, let me quickly show you. The customer is already here and there is no customer. So once I create this record, it's going to trigger that one. So what we need is to create a trigger in the system. Create trigger, Apex trigger, and let's name it as lead customer TRG, lead customer. Yes, and the S object will be lead, and it's not going to be before insert, it's gonna be after insert. After insert, and let's quickly check here. If trigger dot is insert, and also we are going to trigger, we are going to check the context is after or before. If trigger dot is after, then we are going to create our record, customer records. But it's always best practice to keep this trigger simple. We don't populate every code, everything over here. We just put the data outside of the trigger and we call it from trigger. This is the logic. This is what we call helper or handler classes. So we can create a helper class, create Apex class. Let's say create customer record. This is just a basic thing, but it's worth knowing. So let me remove the constructor and I'm going to create a customer object. Refresh S object definition to fetch all the metadata actually not metadata, but the fields that we have recently created for our customer objects. So let's say public static void create customer record and insert. But before insert, first what we need is once after is insert and is after, the lead ID will be exposed. The lead ID will be exposed and I need to use that lead ID over here. So let's ID lead ID like this. And I can use that from here. So first let's create a customer record, insert new customer. And we have name field. Name field can be first name plus last name. We can concatenate them. But first let's keep it simple. First name, last name, email, phone, and company name, I think. Company name. And these fields, yes, now this is insertion part, but first I need to get this lead. So I need a query lead select ID, yes, first name, last name, email, phone, company from lead, where ID equals lead ID. Whatever I supply over here is gonna be fetched from the database like this. And also let's put limit 1. And that's okay. Now the name is first name plus one space character plus last name, and it's concatenated version. And we are fetching all the data from this fetched lead, and we are creating them all using the columns, the fields. So let's implement this. And that's it. Actually, this is done. But always best practice also to check the sanity check if lead object is available. Yeah. Yes. Then we can retrieve this. Like this one. So let's deploy this first. Yes, we get some errors. Let's correct that. If lead object, unexpected token if. Yeah, I need to put semicolon over here. Another one is expression cannot be stated. Last name, first name. Sorry, yeah, these ones. Lead dot first name and lead dot last name. Now it's done. Condition dot is empty, or the always we use lead not equals null. Yeah, okay. Let me cut them, and equals to null return. Now let's deploy this. Yes. Now we can call this from trigger. We are going to use this customer create record. Create record. This is the name of the helper class. Dot yes, here this takes the ID, but we are going to use trigger.new, but this is an array. This is a list of leads, but I would like to get only the first lead, the index 0.id. So let's deploy this to customer create record. Sorry, create customer record. And this is also done. So let's do it again. Let me go back to the record. And now the conversion from trigger part is also done. Then once we create the form, it's automatically converted. First, it's going to save it as a lead object. And after lead has been created in the system, it's gonna trigger the customer record using trigger that we have written as a code. And it's going to create our customer record in the system. So let's see. Okay, it's already populated. And also I would like to show you today's leads are okay, but I would like to show you the customers. There's no existing customers in the system. I'd like to create a new lead. Let's say John Doe. Okay, once we submit the form, yes, thank you page, and then in this customer, once I refresh the page, it's going to display us the newly created lead object, and we will be able to see what we have entered in the system like this. Let's do it again one more time. Check. Again, once I submit and refresh the customer, yes, it's taking the data with that trigger. This is how the conversion works using a simple trigger and helper class. And we simply use this. And again, from trigger, we are triggering after insertion. After insertion, a lead has been registered in the database, and it has a 15 digits, 15 character ID, and we are putting that ID as an argument, as a parameter here. And once it's fetched from the helper class, it's going to fetch it from database. And if we have the data available in the system, we are not returning anything, because this stops the code. This stops the code from executing furthermore. And we directly disregard this part, and we are inserting a new customer using the data from the lead record. This is how the system works.